Something very interesting happened. Machado gave Trump her Nobel Prize medal. And of course, the Nobel people say that, hey, it is not transferable. She did not give the money, though. She just gave the medal. Uh, and it is very confusing because Trump told her or informed her, and she was so proud of that, the Mr. Marquez de Lafayette give Mr. Bolivar also a medal. And she responded, "Oh yes, thank you so much for the United States of America being so close to Venezuela." So she failed to tell Trump the truth. Hey, Mr. Trump, listen, the one who won the war for independence of the English in the new United States of America or in the colonies creating the United States of America were us. Yes, us, the Venezuelans. People like Francisco de Miranda, the fought the English at sea, uh, Marquez de Lafayette, Esteban Rodriguez Miro. And yes, without us, you will not be sitting right here in this White House. So, hey, yes, Marquez de Lafayette give him a medal, and we give Marquez de Lafayette and the French our cannons, our shots, and gunpowder. And we did very well. And that is why we French and we Spaniards are one to this day. As a matter of fact, the King Felipe just arrived in Versailles a few hours ago. So that is the reality of it. It is Martin Luther King weekend, and we're still confused after all this year. And this year is the 250th anniversary of the creation of the United States of America, of the war for independence from the English of the colonies in the American continent. So no, we are no Americans, and the Pilgrims did not create the United States of America. So who are us? Who Mr. Martin Luther King Jr. Fought for? Well, everybody's telling me that he fought for the black people, the black people. Well, that is not correct because black people do not exist. I tell you that right now. Black people do not exist. There is no such a thing as a black human or a white human or a red human for that matter. There is just humans. And that is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about why a man, the he's a first generation in the United States of America, like Donald Trump and Trump Jr. from Czechoslovakia and Ivanka Trump, and all these people are telling us that we are black, browns, and red, and that you are need to get the hell out of my country because you are immigrants attacking my country. At the same time, he is the one, he is an immigrant. Yeah. So that is what I'm making this video about on Martin Luther King weekend. Why there is so many people so freaking confused and they accept, and how can I say, what, why a human feels good when when somebody tells them that they are superior, but they're not. You know, and that is I never understood that. Martin Luther King Jr. Went to the mall in Washington D.C. and he made a speech, and in this speech he called himself negro. Negro means black. It's a color. So Martin Luther King, even with all the nice work that he performed, he was also conditioned. He was defending a color. Remember the in the 1700s, early 1800s, they brought people from Africa. But remember that right now in the United States of America, not everyone came from Africa, and they call them slaves. But my grandfather was a slave. So why the so-called colored people from Africa were slaves, but people like Donald Trump, the his mother was a slave of the English. She's not a slave. I don't get that. Um, so they came here and and they got colorized by that name, slave. But then something happened. Time went by. The Civil War came around, and no longer they are slaves. So they have to call them something else. So they called them negros, negros. I mean black negros, and they keep everybody separating. Remember, they at the time people like Donald Trump's mother, she was no better than a slave. The same is an Irishman or an Italian at the time. They were called spics and negros and browns. So only the English, they believe they were Americans, called themselves whites. So as you see, now Martin Luther King was called a slave and now was called negro. Martin Luther King come around and say, no, I am not a color anymore. You are not a color anymore. So what happened? Well, the English, they called themselves white, changed the name. And now they call them African American. African American. So as you see, every time that you are trying to repudiate color coding, they change the color on you or they change the name of the color on you, and that make you feel good. That make you feel like you did advance. You went from a slave to negro to color. I forgot that, to color in the 1940s during World War II. They called the Yankees, the people from the United States of America, they called them color people. Don't drink water because it is for the color peoples only. And then after in the 1960s, when Martin Luther King, that is when they start calling them African Americans. So as you see, they just change your perception. It's called a condition reflex. It's a little puppy that you change their name and give them a steak and they feel good and they eat and they will respond to that color. So right now, that is where we are. We are in African American color code. We are in Mexican American color code. We are in Puerto Rican American color code. We are in Asian American color code, and so everybody's got some name in American, but the the color code white, he is not white American. He is white, and he is supreme. But it's not so. They are in the minority. And I'm going to give you an example of this. Marco Rubio, they call him, that is what they call him, Latino, and brown, Latino and brown. So let's pick up who is Marco Rubio. Well, Marco Rubio, the Rubio family, they are from Murcia, Spain, and they arrived here not too long ago. As a matter of fact, that his grandfather was born in what is it, 1850, somewhere in there, and they were from Cuba. From Cuba, remember that Cuba in the 1850s, all the way to 1898, was Spain. But now the Spaniards telling you the Marco is a Latino, and the last his biology, they were born in Spain in 1850, moved or migrated to Cuba. But they forgot to tell you that Cuba was Spain in 1850. As you see, they confuse you. They confuse the political jurisdiction with the name of the geography and your nationality and your citizenship. So Marco Rubio's grandfather in 1899 lost his citizenship because the Treaty of Paris, the war in between the Kingdom of Spain and the United States of America, removed the correct citizenship illegally now, because you cannot remove somebody's citizenship, but they did. They made them something else. So now Marco Rubio went from being an Spaniard to a Cuban, and now he's in the United States of America running foreign policy as a Yankee from the United States of America, color code brown, Latino, Hispanic or Latino, and all this, but they never accept him as what he really is, just an advanced human. And that is what why is so important. Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King was the one who defined that colorization of people, of biology, into races. The problem is that he was conditioned too, and to this day they try to create marketing groups basis on that coloration, that color code. So Martin Luther King was erroneous too. Now, what he did, he changed the United States of America from that division of colors. They start integrating the colors, the color code humans. And to this day, we're doing that. So remember, he went from a slave to negros to color to African Americans. It went from being Spaniards all the way to what Cubans or Puerto Ricans, Americans, Cuban or Puerto Rican Americans, all the way to what we have today, Latinos and Hispanicos and Browns, and you are an illegal alien. Yeah. So that is the reality. Is so confusing for everyone that we are literally killing each other on the streets right now, for nothing, for being primitive, for being ignorant. So go out there and advance yourself. Do not allow no one to color code you on today's day. The celebration of Martin Luther King, a man that unite all the colors, or at least was the beginning of the realization that it is best to be united, because we are just animals, humans, and we function only as a part, as a gang membership. So do not pick up erroneous gangs. Pick up you gang. You are a human. Saludos.